Hello, my name is Melinda Drummond. I'm the Assistant Agronomy Technician at Liskeard Agricultural Research Station, or NLARS as we call it. We have several new trials this year to our fields, brought to our site by Professor Josh Nazielski, the focus of most of which is lodging in oats and how factors like seeding rate, row width, planting depth, split nitrogen timing, and plant growth regulators impact occurrence. We were lucky this spring. Planting conditions were ideal, and so we were able to plant the trials between May 14th and May 20th, and within a week had precipitation, so we were off to a good start. Fertility in the trials was standardized between trial sites where nitrogen and sulfur were concerned, while phosphorus and potassium were applied in response to soil testing and OMAFRA recommendations. Later in the season, depending on the specific trial goals, the plants received an additional split nitrogen application. Weed pressures were managed with Logic M quite successfully, although there were a couple spots with grass weeds that the summer students were unlucky enough to have to deal with. Fungicide in the form of Trivapro A and B was applied to each of the trials to manage disease. Notes were taken throughout the growing season to note plant stand, heading date, height, maturity, lodging, and disease. But unique to these trials were some notes that were required regarding stems and root strength of the plants. And in this split nitrogen timing trial specifically, there were portions harvested at specific stages for nutrient analysis. Following harvest, the yield impacts of the factors tested will also be evaluated, and hopefully we'll find some distinct answers to these questions.
Some of our other trials are with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. The Liskeard Research Station has had several crop species researched in the station. Of course, this year we have more oat trials compared to any other crop. Our site is extremely important to AFC for oat breeding. One of those reasons is Northern Ontario is one of the main growing areas for oats. Cultivars adapted to Southern Ontario and those to Northern Ontario are distinctly different. Testing at Liskeard is very important for selecting oat cultivars adapted to the whole Eastern Canada except for Southern Ontario. Not many collaborators of AAFC have the capacity as Liskeard does for conducting agricultural experiments. And finally, consistency in the quality of data over the years is another reason why we continue to be important to Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. Breeding trials for Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, we have well over 1,200 breeding plots this year that are grown at different stages in the selection process, yield and other qualities like lodging height. AFC selects the best cultivars to continue into a final test where the best of the best, if you will, of the AFC lines compete for the potential to become another registered variety. The Ottawa Oat Protein Study is a multi-site and year trial. It's at 3 locations, Ottawa, Liskeard, and Manitoba. The objective of the study is to determine, one, if foliar N application at booting to early flowering stage could increase grain protein concentrations, and whether oat cultivars respond differently to an N management strategy. The oat protein study has 6 cultivars grown under 2 nitrogen treatments. So that's like 100% of the nitrogen at planting compared to a split nitrogen, so a pre-plant and then again at both swell and boot. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining the 2020 virtual tour of the Liskeard Agricultural Research Station.